Keep talking.
Okay. That's good right there. It was too loud before, but that's good.
Anything is possible.
Nothing is impossible.
I'm just saying,
It's the same phrase, different side of the coin. Anything is possible. Nothing is impossible.
I mean, it is. It just is. So it's like, are there settings on the brightness or the angle? It's like, just tell me what you want, and we'll make it happen.
Not always, because some of the lights, or some things, it is this is what you get kind of thing.
But just tell me what you want. Because boy math over here, I may not pick up on some of the subtleties of certain things. So it's like, move the camera, angle it down, turn that light down, make it match this light like that. Additionally, we do have a shadow back here on our big green screen. Was it the green monster is what it was? You know which one I'm talking about.
No, I don't, but I wish I did. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The green monster is where's the green monster? Fenway Park. It's the wall.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna call this our green monster.
Okay. Does the shadow affect it when you're trying to put?
Good question. And we will find out in post.
Well, that would be a sucky place to find out, though, wouldn't it?
It is what it is.
Okay.
Hey, it's a podcast. Again, I mean, we talked about this yesterday a little bit about how a podcast needs to look how it sounds. But either way, it's just a podcast.
That's true.
It's just two random people sitting here talking on a
futon from home.
Leatherette food. I don't think this is really leather.
No, but I got it at Home Depot, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, is it a Home Depot or Lowe's? I don't remember now.
We picked it up from Home Depot. You ordered it from Home Depot, but I'm pretty sure it was just one of those third-party vendors that Home Depot advertises on their website. Yeah. But it's
I like it.
Yeah.
I haven't slept on it, though, but your mom never has a complaint.
Unfortunately, it looks like the casting couch.
It does look like a casting couch, so there is that, unfortunately. We can dress it up somehow.
Some of our viewers and listeners may not know what the casting couch is, but it looks like it for sure.
I bet they know. I think everybody knows what a casting couch looks like.
All right, folks. Episode number 2. Episode number 2.
Do you want to call it episode?
Show?
Or just podcast 2?
All the other podcasters are saying episode.
Okay, then episode 2 it is. Might as well jump on the podcast wagon.
We can come up with a new name if you want, but for now, we'll go with episode 2.
That works.
And technically, I'm allowed to say this, back for the first time.
Technically, you're correct. Because you are back, and it is the first time you have come back. Tomorrow, you can't say that.
Back for the first time for our second official Squirrel Tribe podcast. Or is it Squirrel Tribe Life podcast?
Squirrel Tribe Life podcast.
Because I got it set up as Squirrel Tribe podcast on the Squirrel Tribe Life channel. I don't know. Does it matter?
I don't know.
Just subscribe.
Yeah, that makes it easier.
Just like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll be on RSS feeds and you can subscribe or follow. I don't know what the term is for podcasting when it's in your feed. Is it like if you're on Spotify, have you subscribed to the podcast or are you following the pod? I don't know.
These are good questions and I don't know because I'm not on Spotify.
Yeah, not yet. I guess Spotify would be the one. You got Spotify, you got Apple, you got is it SoundCloud? And I can't remember the other one.
Here's my question for you. Do you hear a little static?
No.
Okay, so it's my headphones?
Like, what do you mean static?
Like a steady buzz?
No.
In the background the whole time?
No.
Oh.
No. Do you still hear it?
Uh-huh. Maybe it's just my ears.
Oh, okay. Might want to go get those checked out. I don't. So hopefully you guys don't either. But if so, then I guess we'll have to fix that in post too.
Okay.
Now what I want to do actually, before we even get into this podcast in particular, is I want to go back, take a trip down memory lane. And we are going to review yesterday's podcast.
Okay.
Or episode 1. Assuming I upload this today. Which yesterday it took a little bit of work to get it exactly the way I wanted it, but when it was done, I said that I was 100% satisfied with everything about it. The conversation, the recording, the post edit, the audio, the title, the thumbnail, like everything was 100%. I was satisfied.
Do you still feel the same way today?
Yeah.
Making sure. Because sometimes people go to sleep and they wake up and they're like, oh, dang it. You know what? I could have done this. I should have done that.
No, it was great.
I love it.
Honestly, it started off as a 10 of 10.
And it has moved up.
And I believe before we went to sleep, it was probably 9 of 10. And then we woke up this morning, it was 8 of 10. And right now it is 7 of 10.
I love it. Personally. So, and I love the thumbnail. I'm hoping that we stick with that thumbnail style.
I actually have taken my own advice, and the thumbnail is already created for this podcast before we even started.
Nice. Even better.
I don't have a title yet, though.
That's fine.
So we have to work on that.
Okay.
But let's just look at it. It's got some views. The click-through rate is actually going down. And now, honestly, I feel a little bit like Catherine Manning as we were discussing the analytics. So this could be fun. We discussed the analytics of the past episodes. Whereas Graham Stephan and his partner, I don't remember his name, on the Iced Coffee Iced Coffee Hour, they actually on each new podcast, they tell you how much the channel has made or the podcast has made. So that's their intro is, so far we've made this much money on this channel or this podcast. But maybe ours could be, let's look at the last episode's analytics.
Like how many subs it gained, how long people are watching, that kind of thing.
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and this is all thanks to you guys. I'm gesturing towards you. If you're watching, if you're listening, then
the gesture's still there. You just can't see it.
But, so far, it's been published for, at this time, 14 hours, 20 minutes. And the analytics show...
Dun.
You know what?
I'm trying to drum roll for you, but I don't know how.
I'm going to take a screenshot so I can have it, so it matches what I'm saying. And I'll take another screenshot of this one so you can see how many hours, because I can put it up here.
That's true. Behind us on the green screen for the viewers.
Me. That was me. That wasn't our sound effects, but that was me.
I heard my toe pop again when I scrunched my toes.
So 857 views, 121.6 watch hours, gained 2 subscribers. Cool part about it is it only gained subscribers.
Has not lost
that's all it's done,
which is lovely.
Plus. And
average retention.
The click-through rate is going down, which is fine. Honestly, I don't care about
click-through rate going down is just because it's showing it to more people, which I'm okay with.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. And so far, 99% like, to be expected.
Okay.
There's always one. And the not subscribed percentage is still at 31.7.
Weird, but
it's just there.
It's just there. That's how they like to do it. But what's how long the average retention? That's what I always look at.
8.5 minutes,
which is really good on a. How long is it?
55 minutes, 23 seconds.
Okay. Which is good because, especially on the very first podcast, especially if you're talking about a channel that other people may not know, maybe they leave to go watch the video we talked about. They're going to come back, finish our episode later. You just never know.
So this is actually really interesting. And I'll take a screenshot so you guys can see it.
Oh, I saw this whole little up and down.
Look, this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion of what's happening. Okay. And the peak, the highest retention was 15 minutes and 30 seconds. And that was in the first 6 hours. And now the retention is at 3 minutes and 4 seconds at 14 hours and 19 minutes. It's dropped significantly.
Oh, I was confused on what that was. I thought that meant that was like how when people were watching and then when it dropped off and then how long.
So that is the retention. So this is view duration.
Oh, okay.
The retention is a little different, and we won't get that probably until tomorrow.
Okay.
So that screen's still blank, but the duration is changing, And actually, I like this because I've seen this before. And so what happens is it starts off and we were at 9 minutes and 40 seconds, 11 minutes, 32 seconds, up to 15 minutes and 30 seconds, which the first 6 hours are more than likely notifications and our core audience.
Correct.
And then our not subscribed percentage increased.
And the
duration is dropping down to the low of 3 minutes and 4 seconds. And we are probably at the point where the algorithm goes, okay, send it to these people instead.
Yeah.
And I've seen this happen before.
Okay.
And as the algorithm is trying to find where you belong, once they find it, it's big.
Okay.
It's big. And I'll have to find the video that I saw this happen on. I actually think I sent that link to Kim over on Patreon.
Okay.
So I should be able to find it easily because I was sharing it with her of how it works.
Okay.
And how much time it takes to find your audience. And if I can find that, I'll put it up so you guys can see it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So we'll see how it goes and we'll see how this one does too. Do we need an intro song?
I think it'd be cool if we had like a specific intro thing. And then I think that it'd be cool if in the very beginning you go, hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Got SquirrelTribe and Kevin here and blah, blah, blah. And, we're going to talk about this from, and then you plug in the channel name that you're going to be talking about. And then you go into other stuff you want to talk about before you get to it so that it doesn't take too long for people to know exactly what you're going to do.
So yes to the song?
Yes to the song.
Do we play it so we hear it or do I just play it in post?
No, you got to play it so we hear it too. You got to dance around to it. Come on now.
You got to dance around?
What's the point in having
what if you
a
just
song?
dance around in the beginning? And you
But what
know,
if I'm off beat?
You don't know what song I'm
That's even worse. They'd be like, what the hell is she doing? She's doing the chicken dance and it's the Macarena. Like they don't really go together.
All right, well, here we go. Let's give it a shot. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Squirrel Tribe Life podcast. I am your host, Kevin, and
your other host, Michelle.
And today we're going to talk about the We Are Being Canceled, the Nomadic movement, and one of their most recent videos, as well as some other changes that are happening to their channel and their lives.
And random stuff that we feel like throwing in here.
Yep. Mostly random stuff.
Mostly random stuff. If you've ever been to a Squirrel Tribe anything, mostly random stuff.
Side note, come check us out on Patreon and get the private podcast RSS feed that will be coming soon to all members.
I'm so excited about that.
We are also testing our new lighting today.
We are.
Or at least one of our new lights.
One of our new lights.
What do you think about it so far?
Good. Decent. My head looks like the alien thing on the green screen behind us. Not alien. Yeah, alien. I was going to say predator, but it's very alienish.
And we are officially building out our podcast studio and should maybe take some suggestions. What do you think? Should we take suggestions from viewers and subscribers and listeners and Patreon members on how the studio should look and feel?
Always, yeah.
Sweet. Side note, if anyone is interested in our super low budget and, in my opinion, extremely cost-effective podcast studio setup and would like to build their own, just let me know.
I can't wait to put together that desk we bought.
Yeah, I need to do that. I'll do that today.
I was about to say, because I'm going to use it whenever I record for
I'll do that today.
My main channel.
But let's run it out. We top to bottom.
Okay.
We got headphones. We got mics. Mic stands. XLR cables. Cloud lifters. MacBook. Vocaster 2. Side table.
Couch.
Futon.
Futon.
Green screen. Light.
Cheeseburgers.
Or 2 lights. Cheeseburger. Tripod for the phone.
Phone.
The smartphone S20. Galaxy S23. S23 Ultra.
Sounds right.
Whatever.
Sure.
We've got the USB-C to TRS cable.
Okay. I never would have known that.
Converter.
The T-Rex cable.
And then we've got our audio cable from 3.5 millimeter to quarter, left and right channel. And that's about it.
Sounds about it.
That's it. And then we'll have a desk. And so that's it. Now, granted, prior to, we were attempting to podcast with just the phone and our DJI wireless mics, but in order be a podcast. You have to look like a podcast and then sound like a podcast.
Thank you for...
Or do you have to sound like a podcast and then be a podcast and look like a podcast?
I don't know how it goes, but what's the phrase? Thanks for something-ing me. I can't think of the words. Squirrel brain.
Humoring?
Yes, that. Maybe it's humoring me. Yeah, I think that's the right word. I'll go with it. Because it was me who pushed for it. You were like, do you know the definition of a podcast? And I was like, yes, you've told me 10 times, but I don't care. I want the microphone and the headphones and I want to look like a podcast.
The crazy part was we already had all the stuff.
I know. We just didn't have a way to really fully do it.
But I need to build out with today's prices and see just how much it all costs and what would be a great entry level for a 2-person podcast. And maybe I'll just put it up on Patreon. Because that's I'll put it up on Patreon and I'll put it somewhere else. I'll tell you about that later. I'll put it somewhere else. I'll tell you about that later. And that way everybody can just click it and know what it is. And we'll have affiliate links to Amazon where you can get everything.
There you go. Make life easier.
Similar to how Nate used to upload all his camera gear.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the cool part about it is no lie, you could go out and buy the exact same gear that Kara and Nate has, and you're not going to make the same videos.
Oh, yeah.
So it means it's like absolutely don't hold back and, restrict your audience from knowing what you use. It's like you can't make the same. Even if you went to the same places and did the same challenges, you're not them.
You're different people.
It's not the same.
It's not gonna work the same at all.
It could work better. It could work worse, but it's not going to be the same. So I don't mind sharing with you guys all everything that we have here and what we use. Now we have the ability to expand because right now this is a 2-person setup. Easily a 2-person setup. We have the ability to expand. And I need to check something. Just made a mental note.
I'd have to make a real note because I'd forget that mental note about 14 seconds in. Just so we're all fully aware.
I'm actually I'm gonna do it right now, and so I don't forget. So I'll come back to that later. That's why I have so many tabs open.
You've got normally like 800 of them, I think.
If the MacBook had a fan, it would be screaming right now. But the M1 MacBook Air, no fans, quiet operation, which is actually, Think Media said if you're going to do a mobile setup, get an M1 MacBook. Don't go Pro because they have fans on the bigger models. That way you don't have all this fan noise in your setup. Like when you're doing your live streams and stuff. Yeah. But if we want to expand, we'll have to break out the old Tascam Mixcast 4. But you don't love that one because it drops the guest's volume.
No, I dislike that one immensely.
And it's doing it to prevent over-talking the host.
I don't care what it's doing it to prevent. That's how you have a conversation. You over-talk each other when you're having a legit conversation, and drowning it out just makes it so that I feel like I got to yell louder or repeat it, and I don't like it.
This one does it too. You just don't notice it. It doesn't do it as drastically.
Well, it's the drasticness that I didn't like.
I think it does it intentionally on purpose to...
You just said the same thing. To make intentionally on purpose.
To make it so
some people didn't know what intentionally meant.
So that they don't overtalk each other. It's like, all right, I can't hear myself talk, so you go ahead and say what you got to say then.
Basically. But that's how my face would be the whole time, looking at you like, fine, you say your things, I'll just wait. And then by the time you're done, you come back to me, I'm like, well, I damn forgot it. You should have just let me talk over you.
Technically, you're supposed to have ability to take notes, so we forgot about that. You have to get a pad. When the table's here, you'll be ready to go.
Pen and paper it, yeah. I have like 75 SquirrelTribe notebooks, so I'm...
Side note, with this angle, they can't see your socks.
I put on socks today because my feet were so cold. These are from Altered State. Yes, okay. We got these like 2 years ago. Yeah. They're my favorite pair. I refuse to let the kid take these because she'll ruin them.
But yeah, maybe I can find a workaround for the Tascam. But if we do incorporate more people, we'll need the extra channels. But if I can work extra channels into this, that's going to be a game changer. And then I can share it with other people on YouTube doing their podcasts and make the Vocaster 2 or the Rode Podcaster Duo far better than what it already is. So that would be pretty cool.
You know what I have realized? I love the setup. I truly, truly do. However, this couch, this futon puts my butt to sleep. It's already starting, which is why if you see me moving around, it's not because of...
Sit on the pillows.
Then I'm just going to be sitting high all the way up here. I don't want to do that. And then, I don't know, but my left butt cheek's going to sleep the way I was sitting, so I got to like move around a little bit.
I spread my butt cheeks as Mike Honcho.
Okay. I'm not going to discuss spreading my butt cheeks on this podcast.
Games and Roses will know what I'm talking about. But we can have up to 4 XLR inputs on the Tascam Mixcaster 4. We can even bring in guests on Bluetooth for phone calls on either one, maybe Zoom, maybe StreamYard, and maybe even on Google Voice.
And questions have been answered.
So the Viral Podcast has a public phone number that listeners can call and leave messages and send texts.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Did you not know that?
No.
You didn't hear when they said that in the beginning?
No.
Or maybe they don't mention it as much, but I went back and watched like their first podcast to see how they started. And that's when they mentioned it. So maybe the newer ones, they don't mention it as much. Oh. And people just kind of know.
Yeah.
So maybe we can give it a shot too.
That could be neat.
You can call or text us. 850-979-4829.
Nice.
I'll put it in the I'll put it up on the green monster back here, and I will drop it in the description.
Nice.
Comments, suggestions, if you just want to say hi or hello or whatever, doesn't matter. Whatevs.
And then you also have the chat on Patreon.
Correct. The chat on Patreon. So the chat on Patreon
is a community chat, like a group chat,
yes,
though.
It's a live free chat on Patreon. You don't have to pay. If you want to pay the support, perfectly fine, but you don't have to.
Help us buy set up for 3 and 4. So we can have guests.
Yeah, and maybe get some guests on here.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I'll put up on the screen so you guys can see it. I'll also put up on the screen where the direct messages are, because somebody asked me today, where's direct message?
On Patreon?
On the app.
Oh, yeah. Okay, because it is different.
But it's a little envelope on the corner, so it's a really nice app. It does need a little bit of tweaking.
It's a little tweaking.
But it's leaps and bounds above and beyond what it was before.
Yes.
Now, that's it for the housekeeping. Let's get into the meat and potatoes here.
Meet at the corner of something in Conversation Street.
We're meeting at the corner of YouTube algorithms and fleeing expats from Panama on this episode of Futon Conversation. I don't know. That's the best I got.
I like Futon Conversation, though. Convertible Couch Conversation, the CCC. Wait, no.
So first thing I'll say is that when we watched this video, a new survey poll question popped up. Which of the following military branches would you consider joining?
That was interesting. I have not seen that. I don't notice that on the phone. Is it only on TV?
Sometimes I get it on my computer. I don't know about my phone.
I don't think I've ever seen it on mobile before. I see is this video a good recommendation? Super frowny face, kind of frowny face, neutral face, kind of happy. Oh my gosh, yes, this is great face.
I get survey questions on my phone, but maybe not with the video, maybe scrolling through browse.
Yeah.
However, I do think YouTube's listening to our conversations.
Well, duh, Google Voice. I mean, it's Google. They listen to everything.
Because the other day you mentioned like branches of military. You mentioned joining the military.
Yeah, and that was yesterday. Yeah. And then that's the first question that
TV
pops
wasn't
up.
on.
No, it was not.
Just saying.
I know. But did you log into your YouTube on?
No. I said I talked to the remote.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So the remote's what's listening. I'm just saying. Next thing you know, it's going to be like, do you feel like you have excessive farting issues? That's the next survey, because we're constantly making noises.
All right. So this video starts off in an Airstream.
You didn't even list the 4 branches of government.
I'll put them on the green monster.
Okay. That's a government, y'all. Don't worry about me.
My lips are too moist. What?
That's what she said.
I can't. It won't do it.
Ew.
You
just like spit everywhere.
A lot. So I made a big mistake when I got the Porsche Macan. So I got the Macan, right?
My face is going, huh?
I got the Macan, and we went to swap the wheels. For the trade-in. And I'm riding around with Chad. And we're just having this conversation. And I was kind of paying attention to the car, and I was kind of paying attention to him. And he was like, yeah, man, if I could, I'd just take like 2 weeks off and just travel around the country in an Airstream. And I was like, do you have a pilot's license?
You're an idiot.
Like I was listening to him, but then it hit me. I'm like, oh no, that's a Gulfstream. I was thinking about a Gulfstream, but then it said Airstream. I'm thinking in the air, but no,
which makes more sense.
I know. But Airstream actually means like the aerodynamics of it as you're pulling it behind.
Airstreams are the ones I like visually the most because they look really cool, like little silver bullets.
So this is how the video starts off. And again, the intention here is not to provide any spoilers. However, this video is 2 weeks old. So I will probably say more than I normally would with a video that just came out like in the last 48 hours.
Rename the channel and the video?
The channel is Nomadic Movement. The video is We Are Being Canceled.
Okay. That's the whole title is We Are Being Canceled?
Correct.
Oh, okay. ... Oh, it was the dots that I was thinking of.
I'm always intrigued by how many dots people use.
You have to use 3.
I use 2.
2 is weird to me.
Some people use like 8.
Well, those people are excessive and they should probably talk to somebody about that. 3 is the right proper number. 1 is the end of a sentence. 2 means you're not sure if you want to end the sentence or you want to keep it going. 3 means you really want them to be intrigued. You have decided intrigue is where you're going.
My videos have been failing recently.
There you go. It's the 2 dots because I wouldn't click on it. I'd be like, he doesn't know what he wants in life. Never mind.
It's a period typo.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
So there's so much going on. So much happening is the immediate, what I'm hit with, essentially.
Yeah. Well, my immediate thought immediately was they really wanted it to look like a family thing because they start off with the kid as the very first visual.
It's
which was weird to me,
you
but that's
say
me.
that because I would assume that they have always done that since the kid was capable of being in the video.
Their kid, yeah.
But again, we don't watch their channel, so we don't really know them.
Yeah,
it's just a video that we saw today that we're going to end up talking about.
Yeah.
The good news is it didn't feel like a 17-minute video to me. And that's a plus coming from the creative perspective.
Yeah.
So bravo, hand clap to, maybe I'll put in some hand clap music or
we have hands.
Sound effects. I didn't want to do it. Like I feel like I was going to risk like ripping all these cables out or something.
I didn't say like walrus clap.
Walrus.
You can like exuberant golf clap. There you go.
I'll probably still put sound effects. So, bravo to the, yes, that is my stomach making noises. Did you hear it?
I just thought you smuggled a cat in somewhere.
So bravo for the fine work, filming, storytelling, and editing. I will say that. Now, officially canceled, as they were referring to hit pieces by the Daily Mail and New York Post, that they found to be extremely funny. They were laughing the entire time as they were saying this.
Yes, they were. Because also at the same time, same token, you don't want to make a video where you look pissed off the entire time talking about these things because it then sets the tone for the rest of the video.
I think they did a lot with setting the tone. I mean, it looked like it was a really nice Airstream.
It did look very nice.
It looked like a really nice Airstream. I will say that I don't love the super view, wide angle, selfie vlog mode setup. It was too much for me.
And I realize I'm not a massive fan of all the different cuts where when it starts back up, it's a walk towards the camera a little bit and start talking. Like it felt like that each time. Each time they cut, it was walk. And
what's funny is, did it feel like a 17-minute video to you?
I don't know, honestly. I didn't think about how long it was. I don't generally pay attention to how long it feels.
It was short, good, long, too long. How would you describe that video?
Good.
I think good means it didn't feel like 17 minutes.
I agree.
So with that being said, I think in order for them to deliver on that,
they had to have those kind of cuts and that kind of stuff, which there's nothing wrong with it. There was always something happening each time the cut was done and they came back in. Either a box was being opened, something was being unwrapped, a drill was being, drilled. I don't know the right word. It didn't
seem like it was extremely fast paced, but it also didn't seem like it was dragging on. But I also think that they were laughing so much in the beginning because of how ridiculous the stories and the hit pieces were from the Daily Mail and New York Post.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's the Daily Mail and New York Post.
But I also think that they were kind of laughing because officially canceled, it might have been one of the terms used in one of the articles, which I'm not 100% sure. I have to look back and see. but they knew that, hey, this is going to be our clickbait title.
Yeah.
We have to say this. We're going to giggle through it. And We're going to move on, and we're never going to mention it ever again.
Yeah.
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 Does that, I don't know, does it ruin YouTube for me from a viewer's perspective because I'm always analyzing videos from a creator's perspective?
Probably. But I think it's different for everybody. Like some people are going to look at everything from a cynical side. Some people are going to look at everything from a rose-colored glasses side. Some people are going to look at everything from why did they do it this way, which is like a try to pick it apart kind of side.
It's like, a home, like a home builder. It's going to, pull up. I remember spending a day with like a welder, and we were in some building and he couldn't like not notice all the welds. Like you just can't.
Well, I mean, I can understand that, and you can understand that from previous jobs and businesses that we've had.
You didn't see me yesterday.
What?
When I stood on the picnic bench before we left.
No, I'm sure you were probably looking at the roof lines and the
I was intrigued.
Flashing and the gutters and the things.
They had a tar and gravel roof on that little building. I'm like, it's interesting.
I would have paid attention to the paint, but it was dirty, so it didn't really matter.
Like I saw the coping flying off the taco place. Like, this is weird.
Yeah. The taco place?
Like the burrito or something?
Oh, the place right next door that's out of business?
Noise?
Oh, no, it's because that's the Indian place that went out of business.
That's not the burrito place?
It's right next door to that. That place is still open.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because the coping was falling off. And
now you know why. Because it's out of business.
But either way, they had a lot of setup and staging for transitions and scenery changes. Great segue into product placement and sponsorship, or so I thought. We'll talk about that a little bit more.
I had thoughts about that sponsorship the whole time.
Right. Yeah, but we're going to talk not that one. We're going to talk about the actual sponsorship. Was he allergic to Panama?
I mean, you can be. He could have been, according to the Daily Mail. They phrased it that he was like allergic to Panama, and he's like, no, I just have allergies because I didn't have a sandbox as a kid. I don't know if that meant because he wasn't like immersed with other kids or he didn't get to play outside. I'm not quite sure what that meant. When he made that comment, it kind of felt like a small dig at his parents. I don't know his parents, but that's how I felt it.
It might have been just a plug to drop a keyword, sandbox, and
Oh, that's possible.
He did also make up a lot of words that
he did
real.
Make up a lot of words, and at first I was like,
challenge him in Scrabble.
Well, now I understand why people look at me and they're like, that's not a word, and I'm like, but it sounds fun, and I'm going to go with it. So he and I are in the word making up business together, it seems.
Word maker uppers.
But what were you saying? And then I forgot what I was saying.
Well, it's funny because like as I've gotten older, my allergies have gotten worse.
Oh, the allergies thing. Well, our kid didn't have allergies like until we moved here, and now there's something here in the air that gets her.
Yeah, and then here it's like my allergies kick in a different season than they did in Georgia.
Yeah, so it's totally different, and I don't think I have allergies either place, so I think we're fine. Allergy free.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I should knock on wood because the older you get, the more things start to fall apart and new elements pop up. So tomorrow I'll be allergic to oxygen.
So now I wonder if they get recognized in these RV parks and campgrounds.
I would think that ones who are constantly about the van life and the RV life would, but I don't think they're about that. They're building a home and they're right. But again, I haven't watched their whole channel.
Not about that, but just having however many hundreds of thousands of subscribers and however 70 something million views. Like, do you just get noticed now that you're traveling around and people in campsites tend to look at people in campsites.
Well, maybe possibly in campsites.
And then also the camera's going to be out and they're going to be recording.
That was what I was going to say. When the camera comes out and they're recording and they're doing different angles and they're setting things up, people are then going to look, and then people are going to try to figure out who they are or what they are.
Or you see somebody, you don't really think much of it, then they start recording, and then your brain's like, that's why they look familiar.
Well, you got to think 400, 500,000 subs sounds like a whole lot, but how many billions of people are on this earth? So when you break it down like that, to me, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. I've seen Mr. Beast's videos, but if
391,000 subscribers.
Okay. But if we hadn't seen Mr. Beast at Vid Summit, I never would know if I passed him in real life. I've watched Catherine Manning. We talked about I probably would not recognize her if I walked past her unless I watched her mouth while she talked, because that's what stands out to me about her.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There's very few people I would probably really notice.
I would notice Kara and Nate because we watch them all the time.
In a place where I wouldn't expect them.
Oh, yeah. So that's the other thing, especially if you think that nomadic movement is in Panama, you're not going to expect to see them somewhere else. I didn't know they had a coffee place in Vermont. I didn't know any of these things.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at his shirt in the video and he's wearing this the roaster something or other, and it says Vermont, I'm like, why are you representing Vermont and Panama? I mean, like, great, cross representation and stuff, but I was very confused for a minute.
I guess it makes sense. You open the coffee shop wherever you open it, right? But then you live in Panama and you gain access to coffee farms or whatever to help your business.
Yeah.
And, learn more about it.
But what I realized from watching their video today was that with Kara and Nate, it feels like you don't have to see the one before it to understand the one that's happening. Like, it helps if you know, but they give you a little bit of a backstory at the beginning of the videos. And then it made me think about our channels, where if people haven't been watching, they may come in on like a SquirrelTribe 2.0 and be like, what in the is going on? Like, because I thought about that. We are a continuation. So even this podcast is a continuation. Each podcast, we're talking about the one before. We're talking about things outside of whatever. It's a continuation.
It's interesting you say that because, all right, so Nomadic Movement, in my opinion, you would go back and you would binge watch to figure it out.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
With Kara and Nate, you would go back and binge watch because you like them.
That's the other thing I was thinking too. Not that I dislike.
But it's just, you don't need the previous video to help with the next video. Unless it's a 2 or 3 part video from Kara and Nate, which they do sometimes. But if you wanted to go back and watch more, you're going to watch because you just like them.
Yeah.
Not because you're confused and lost.
What I noticed with Nomadic Movement, we've technically seen about 2 or 3 of their videos. This is going to sound whatever the way it sounds. What I noticed about them is I don't know if they're, God, it's going to sound bad. I don't know if they're genuine. Because the only emotions I've seen so far are smiles and happy and super plucky-go-lucky. Yeah, and I don't know if that's normal.
We haven't seen a lot.
True. So we would need to see more to really see.
And with Kara and Nate, we would say that Kara is not entirely genuine when it comes to the food.
No, because I'm the same way with food. I'm the same way. I'm like, this is the best chicken ever.
She did provide a little bit of a backstory and insight into that on the Unplanned podcast as to why she does that.
But we've also seen different emotions from both of them. We've seen Nate cry, Kara cry. We've seen them be angry, frustrated, whatever else. And you can see that in just 1 or 2 videos. Whereas with what I've seen so far with Nomadic Movement, it's super smiley and super happy, which is great. But then it makes me go, are you acting or like, are you real? Like, I'm confused on it. Is this all to be that happy-go-lucky channel that people don't have to really worry about emotions on?
But what about the channels that are also not typically happy or sad or, are you acting too? So as I mentioned, I kind of wanted to watch Christian Schaefer to talk about her videos, but I don't because they're always so sad.
I realize why the Brittany girl that we know, why she looks so familiar is because she immediately reminds me of Christian Schaefer at the same time. They have that same look. There's a girl we know named Brittany who happens to have long blonde hair, tall, skinny, absolutely friggin' gorgeous. And she reminds me of Christian Schaefer, but, with a better personality.
With a smile.
Yeah. I didn't know how else to phrase that, but
Christian
Brittany
Schaefer's,
is so very, very friendly.
Last videos, I don't want to watch them. Like, it's just like,
because they feel downtrodden, right? Is that the right word?
Where are we going with this?
Yeah.
Even the Insta360 plug that she did was kind of like, it was just, I don't know. But the reason being, like, well, why are you even talking about it? Well, when we were getting into van life, we were watching van life channels.
Yeah, and she was one of the...
She had
the
one
first
of the
ones that we saw.
videos about a van. I mean, so now, interestingly enough, Nomadic Movement, we're being canceled. And I quote, Kaylee and I being dirtbags. Now, these are his words.
His
not
words,
mine.
yes.
I don't know who he is. I did not catch his name at all. He said her name, but I don't know what his name is. Immediately after that, I realized there were a lot of ads in this video. Mm-hmm. Or so I thought.
It's the first one, though, was at 3 minutes, it seemed.
Okay, so I thought.
Okay.
The first two back-to-back non-skippable ads within the first 3 minutes and 25 seconds of a 17-minute video. But here's why I felt like there were going to be a lot of ads, is because the video didn't feel like a 17-minute video. So when the ad plays, I'm like, I've only been watching this video for 30 seconds.
Well, I thought you were going to say because every time he was on screen, he was holding something in his hand that had a logo on it or was mentioning something logo-ish. He was unboxing something.
Product placement.
But when he was unboxing it, okay, so listen, when he's unboxing...
Hang on real quick. I need to put up a logo.
So when he's unboxing it, when he was unboxing that first thing and he pulled it out, it looked like a massive, like, a weapon. I don't know how else to say it. And it was at the same time he was talking about something negative, and I saw it all as one thing, and I was like, is this supposed to be like your mind is supposed to see this as a certain thing, so you have that emotion with it?
I'd be willing to bet.
Because they are very precise and specific in the things that they do, which
they
also
are very precise, specific, strategic, and more than likely multiple takes.
Oh, easily multiple takes.
More than likely multiple takes.
I like how there was a scene in the whole thing. I call it a scene because that's what it feels like to me. It feels scripted. It feels like they're making.
It feels very sceney.
It feels like they're making a video. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like it's a production as opposed to you and I.
As opposed to if you watch our video. Where we went to go clean, look at the van refrigerator.
Oh, yeah.
That was just the day. And honestly, that's the other thing. We haven't made another video like that since then because that was just the day.
Just a regular, yeah.
We don't set out to make those days happen.
We also don't make those kind of videos because the anxiety level for me is overwhelming. I could never set up a camera and a microphone and do all those things in front of people. I'd be like, no, I don't want to do this.
But if we had like you did Disney or Universal one time, if you have it planned and you're just going to do it anyway, record it. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
But to make it happen,
that's different. Well, when we went to Universal Studios and recorded everything, it was easier for me because it was the three of us. It wasn't just me walking around talking into a camera in front of people, because that to me is extremely overwhelming anxiety. But it was the three of us, and so many people there, they could give a rat's butt about us. They were focused on what they and their families were doing, which is what was important. But what I wanted to say is about the Nomadic movement video. I really noticed how many crotch shots were in it. There were quite a few of crotch shots.
We should have a game, and every time there's a crotch shot, we take a shot.
Yeah. There were a lot of crotch shots, and then I noticed that there wasn't any barefootness. But when her kid was running around with sneakers on, she was running around in socks, and you could see the dirty bottom of them, which is a certain thing that people enjoy too. So when I say that they are very strategic and very focused on and dialed in on certain things, that's why to me the videos feel just like a production. Like when the camera turns off, are they still the same that they are on camera is what I'm curious about. Over
like the past 5 years, their thumbnails have had a progression, and they're kind of getting a little bit more PG than when they were
less risk, because their child is probably getting older and is part of these things now, so you don't really want to be.
I had to look up and see if they had paywall. They don't have an OnlyFans, but they do have a Patreon.
Okay.
But either way, I also noticed that Kara and Nate, they used to have more thumbnails with Kara's bare feet in them.
Yes.
And they don't.
Not as much anymore.
She used to be more barefoot in the videos, for instance, when they had the Earth Roamers and things like that. And she's not anymore.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that has any impact on reach.
Their views, their reach.
Maybe it's intentional because you know what kind of audience that brings in.
Exactly. So that's what I was going to say. Maybe Kara's like, listen, I'm tired of the comments that come with it, the audience that comes with the lower CPM and RPM that comes with it, because the algorithm knows when you're showing certain things in your videos based off of who is watching the videos, based off where the spikes are in your videos, based off of the comments that come through, whether they're held for review or not, whether you delete them or not. They are aware of everything that's happening. And I think that they realized that it was probably, yes, the views are there, but it's hurting their CPM and RPM.
And if they're not, someone else is, and they're posting it to a subreddit, then you're going to get a spike in your video, and then YouTube will.
Yes, they will notice. When people are coming to your video and immediately going to 5 minutes and 14 seconds. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I sent you the links yesterday.
I know.
Sent you the links yesterday.
I know.
So, according to the guy, I don't know his name, The whole article is just highlighting all the negatives. So he says, but doesn't, at the time I said, doesn't a look at their YouTube channel and their thumbnails and titles do the same thing?
Yes. But the thing is, their thumbnails and their titles are based on their videos. This article from Daily Mail and maybe New York Post, it was using them to talk negatively about Panama. It wasn't even about them. They used them as the.
But can their titles and thumbnails give the audience the perception that Panama is bad? Understanding how sometimes titles and thumbnails, opinions are formed before the video's even seen.
Well, obviously, yeah, I would say that. I mean, they could name something, I can't believe this is, I hate this about the Airstream, because they did mention the one thing that they don't love about the Airstream, although the girl continued to say, no, I absolutely love this thing. It's amazing. It's whatever else, but this one little thing is a little, whatever. And if they titled it, if I had known this about the Airstream, I never would have bought it. You're immediately going to think Airstreams are pieces of trash and you're going to have your opinion formed. But all it is a way to get you into the video so she can say, hey, this one little thing, don't love it, but 99% of this is amazeballs.
Well, you got to think, everything that I love about my Airstream, okay? How many people are interested in that video? I guess my mic is dropping.
Yeah, 4 people are interested in that. But what I hate the most about my Airstream, everybody's going to click on.
What I love about my Airstream, very few people will be intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
And some potential buyers may watch.
Yes.
What I hate about my Airstream, everyone will be intrigued. Not everybody, but more people will be intrigued, and more potential buyers don't want to buy a problem.
Yes.
You see how that works?
Yes, it's really weird.
You see how jacked up that is?
Well, that's the downside. I don't know if that we've become this way over time thanks to marketing and social media, or if we've always been this way and just didn't know it because we didn't have marketing and social media before. Do you know what I mean?
No lie, though. If I'm going to go buy a car,
you're going to look up the negatives first.
Google or YouTube. Car name, problems.
Known issues with. Because you want to know those things ahead of time. You already know what the good things are. That's why you're looking at the car to begin with.
So I did a quick glance for some examples here, and then we have chaos in Panama.
Yeah,
chaos in Panama, prepping for fearful times.
Well, yeah, obviously that's going to make you immediately think that there's something wrong with.
They look very concerned. A little cleavage shot. We have regrets moving to Panama. He's got his arms folded. She looks very unhappy.
Cleavage shot.
Regrets.
Regrets. No regrets.
I think this one is minimal cleavage on this one, but I think there's peaks of nipple.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Peaks of nipple.
Twin Peaks.
Moving on to, what I've discovered is that Panama is a very cold climate.
Yes, it's very. I did not realize how cold Panama was until I saw her in this white shirt.
It's a great place to live if you want to wear t-shirts and shorts and tank tops, but it's really cold.
Why are you wearing t-shirts and tank tops and shorts, man?
It's only cold around the nipples,
around the areolas.
But then the other one, the one we can't forget. This is a video about failure.
That's where a camel made its way into her pants. That's how you have to say it. You can't say the whole word, but that's where.
We're never going to Vermont because we might run into camel pants. But anyway.
So what you're saying is you wouldn't recognize them unless we're walking around and you happen to look down at her crotch and be like, recognize the camel in your pants.
Brace yourself, YouTube. My next thumbnail, you're going to see a lot of camel toe. And it ain't coming from
You didn't say. You're not supposed to put the second part in there. You're supposed to say camel pants.
Oh. All right. You're going to see my camel pants. Now I got to buy camel pants. I got to buy pants with a bunch of camels on it.
But I'm going to make them MC Hammer style. Way more fun that way.
But honestly, it isn't that bad. And this just being legit here. Overall, their titles and thumbnails are more intriguing than anything else.
I agree. I don't think they are fearful titles, fearful thumbnails, anything like that. I don't think it gives you that immediate sense of, this is going to be a bad video. But it does make you curious.
The majority of them, like this Daily Mail, this New York Post is exaggerated, but it brings eyes to their channel. Maybe they picked up some subs and views.
Oh,
Maybe
there's no way they didn't.
Sales.
There's no way they didn't.
Probably didn't have to pay for it. Free publicity. Like
all publicity is good publicity. That's how you're supposed to say it, right? Whether it's good or bad, it's publicity.
Now I got to give my other honest opinion here.
Okay.
Their thumbnails, in my opinion, are not, anything bad, but they are great thumbnails. And the idea and the concept and the thought process of making great thumbnails, making something that anybody would want to click on. You get an opportunity to be presented to you don't know who. Are you going to get a click? The higher the click-through rate, the more views, the more impressions, the more opportunities. Even though I said I don't really care about click-through rates, we can talk about that later. But their thumbnails are visually stimulating for the male pronoun users, and perhaps maybe inviting for some lesbians too.
Some female pronoun users. I mean, if you're going to say male pronoun, you have to say female pronoun.
Side note. See, I don't think it just brings in the female pronoun. I think it brings in the lesbian.
Well, then it doesn't also just bring in the male pronoun. It brings in the straight male pronoun. If you're going to go that route, you got to go the full way.
Touche.
Full send on it or nothing.
Can we have that conversation?
Yeah, all day long.
About my straight male friend is sending me shirtless pics.
Your male friend isn't straight. I don't know how else to say that.
You're like, no, you're done.
You're done.
Okay. Did you just hear what you said?
My male straight friend is sending me shirtless pics to a guy, not me, to a guy. I was about to say, wait, that takes on a whole. We got to be real specific there. It's not to me. It's to a male friend of ours.
He's sending you shirtless pics. Hey, show this to Kevin.
Yeah, that's what it would come. But no, but then you'd have to. One of y'all. Okay. I'm like, wait, hold on. Because then you'd have to be gay for that to work. Because the person we're talking about is a gay male and his straight friend is sending him shirtless pictures. And I'm like, hey, that means that he's not 100% straight.
Yeah.
If you've thought about it, if you're curious about it, if you want to try it, you're immediately not 100% straight.
Side note.
Got a little squiggle in there.
Side note. We did talk a little bit yesterday about the topless dip in the pool with some dudes.
We did.
And I have to say that it isn't a matter of security in oneself or a relationship. But let's see here. You had better not be showing.
No, it's about respect
to some randos without me present. It's not even a conversation really to have. I was trying to think of like.
Well, here's the thing.
Bad Boys 2.
They don't know.
You better keep. I want you to take topless, put it in a box. I want you to wrap it, throw it in the ocean. You got to be Jacques Cousteau.
I remember that. We got to watch Bad Boys again, too. So here's the backstory on that, because without it, you're like, again, the hell y'all talking about? And here comes Max, because he heard excitement and he's like, wait, are you okay? So we had a friend who was telling us about a situation. I don't want to call it a situation. Two straight.
It was an occurrence.
Hold on. It was an occurrence. Two straight men, one gay man, and one straight female who has a boyfriend and children.
Two straight men, a gay guy, and a straight female walking to a bar.
Well, they jumped into a pool. How about this? So the guys stripped down to their boxers, their skivvies, if you will, and the female took her bra off and just got into this pool with her underwear on and no bra. And the question was, ¿por qué? Why? Why did she do this? And I thought immediately, I was like, well, because, when she gets redressed, she wants to put her bra back on. But honestly, if you're wearing pants or a long dress or whatever, you can take your underwear off. That's not a big deal to go commando. That's not going to be awkward feeling. But a wet bra feels disgusting. Walking around without a bra on is way more noticeable than if you're walking around without underwear. So I thought of it in that sense, right? But then I also had to think of it from the sense of, as a female with a husband, if my husband was not there and I was getting into a pool with two straight men, nothing of mine would be uncovered. I would have jumped in with the dress on. Like, that's how I would have gone into the pool, is fully clothed and dealt with it later, or not gone in the pool at all. But we're married and she's only dating the guy. So maybe that makes it a different thing.
I guess what would be the difference if there were... the tables were turned and I was the only male.
Hey, go sit, Max.
In, let's just say, everywhere. A lesbian environment. And we all went skinny dip.
In a fully lesbian environment, that's completely different, I think, because they generally have no interest in you. But those were two straight men with a straight female. And that's where it's different. Also, I'd probably nut punch you. So we're fully. You could do it, but don't do it.
Also,
Technically, you could probably get away with it because it's straight gay women. But no, we're not going to do that. Unless they're all of the super male lesbian caliber. You know what I'm talking about?
oh, wow.
Yeah, then knock yourself out. Have fun. Ain't nothing moving with that. You're good.
So you're actually reminding me of a future conversation that we're going to have here. I got to figure out how to tighten this joker.
That's what she said.
Oh, boy. You don't even understand.
Start them Kegels at
You don't even
16.
understand.
Look at your dog. Look at your dog.
Because you did this. And he tried to put his nose in it.
He did.
He did the little thing.
It's because I hid my hands from him.
But we're going to have to talk about this later.
Okay.
We're getting a little sidetracked
Sorry.
here, but we're going to
This is
talk
what
about this later.
happens.
This one is, am I the asshole for telling my sister to change her dress, wear underwear, or she's not welcome to my wedding?
No.
But,
I don't know what the whole story is, but I'm going to go with no.
But you made me think about it where you were like, take off your bra and underwear to jump in the pool. And it's just like, well, some people don't wear bra and underwear.
Oh, I wouldn't. No. You can't take off your bra and underwear. You got to leave.
Well, you can't take off just your underwear.
That would just be really stupid. Leave a bra on and then no
that's
underwear.
way
No,
too
the bra
inviting.
off makes sense. The underwear off would have been hoey.
And then the other one here is, it says, my boyfriend called me loose during sex and I'm heartbroken. 37 female and 39 male. Not sure what to do next. Advice?
Call him little. It has nothing to do with you. That's all on him.
All right, we're going to get back on track here.
Okay.
Again, to each their own. It is what it is. Now, the nomadic movement, the crotch view monologue confession during the skipping rock scene at the river.
There's a whole lot of this up. And then a lot of hand movements. I know, that's the whole point. But there's a lot of hand movements so that you look at the hands that direct you to the crotch. It was like what's the lady in the plane who's like, there's the things and there's the things, but she's all like this.
The angle to show the butt.
Yes, but the butt,
the back of her.
Where the butts go. I didn't mean it the way it sounded, but I kind of meant it the way it sounded. I'm sorry. Okay, it's fine.
Wow.
But I'm just saying.
It started off with that scene and then it moved on to the obligatory crotch shot, which I think, even though it was probably a GoPro, it's like the GoPro managed to focus in on the crotch. But I gotta say, I'm not really loving the GoPro Super View for direct to camera talking head script reading. I didn't like it.
I've noticed the squat down in a lot of their videos. It's either the bend over to get the cleavage or the squat down to get the crotch. And I mean, it works. It brings in the viewers and it's a talking point and
Not
whatnot.
gonna bring in this viewer. I don't.
I'm not a fan of it either, personally, but not just because it's the crotch shot. I just don't like the angle, really. It's not something.
It's not comfortable.
It doesn't look well. It's not comfortable for me. I got probably a good 60 pounds on that girl.
You try to record
it's not comfortable for me.
A video, as long as we make videos, like you ain't doing that for more than 5 minutes.
These are not Meg the Stallion knees. I would not be able to get back up after squatting down for the crotch shot monologue. It wouldn't work very well.
So the dude says that he's sick of the negativity.
No, he doesn't. He goes, I'm sick of the negativity. Can y'all hear the smile? I'm sick of the negativity.
But, it's like Jack Conte. You were like, man, he's giving bad news, but the music is so nice.
It helps offset it. I do enjoy this.
Man,
this is very calming. I like
It's the best bad news ever.
And that's their whole thing, I guess, is smile through the pain kind of thing. You know what I mean?
So they did have a big secret to reveal.
Did they, though?
They said that they were planning this over the last 6 months, at least in the making. And one thing I did notice is that his eyes are super green next to the tow hitch of that Airstream. Like, did you notice that? How green his eyes were?
No.
It was epic. But they got Starlink and they said they needed it for the next 50 days.
Mm-hmm.
Daily vlog, 48-day daily vlog coming. And again, I don't feel bad about telling you guys because it's not a real spoiler because we're 2 weeks behind. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys y'all know.
Yeah.
If you watch, you know. And their next debut, they debut their next insane challenge that they're taking on. 48 videos over 48 days across 48 states.
Yeah. it felt very Kara and Nate to me. As soon as they started talking, I was like, this is exactly what Kara and Nate are doing. They're traveling, well, not exactly the same, but they're traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast in 30 days and bringing you stuff all along the way. So, and it might be
biking.
It might be new for them.
They're triple biking.
Mm-hmm. They're trandom. I don't know what it's called, but it might be new for them. But it didn't feel
They're
like
doing a 3-way on a bike.
Nope. It didn't feel like fireworks kind of thing to me, but maybe it's because we're jaded because we see these kind of things on YouTube all the time.
I think, honestly, in my opinion, these things work better when you do them.
As opposed to tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it also was because it was dragged out the way it was. Yeah. I don't want to use the word dragged out because I drag stuff out all the time when I do like fun things on my other channel. But it felt like it was one of those things where you could have just said it in the very beginning and it would have been cooler.
But it's honestly, it's not Kara and Nate.
It's not. And that's my problem there because I'm comparing them to Kara and Nate and they're totally different people with totally different goals.
I'm going to compare them to, everybody's going to compare them to somebody. Yeah. I'm going to compare them to somebody different. And there's probably somebody out there who goes, I did that before they did it. I just didn't get the views. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm going to compare it to Ryan Trahan.
Where he traveled across the country with a penny for Mr. Beast. I'm going like, this was the beginning, in my opinion, of the virality behind this cross-country challenge. Yeah, that's true.
You know?
I mean, technically, we even did something along those lines the past 2 summers, from Florida to Washington to California and back in a travel van, and then from Florida to Georgia to Canada to back in a Porsche Macan. We've technically done the same kind of thing, and
we were just doing our vacation. And that was it. Not like, oh, we're going to do this and that. And then we're going to bring
record it all. We didn't do all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't even finish uploading all the videos.
I was about to say, I don't think you put everything up, did you?
I didn't, but I will. And I'm going to put the rest of them on Patreon.
Okay, that makes them easier because now there's been a gap in time and maybe people don't want it the same.
No. See, that's the thing. I'm only going to provide it for the people who do.
That makes sense.
That's it.
That makes sense.
I don't want to make what I think they want.
Mm-hmm. Make what you want to make, and if they want to watch it, they know where to find it.
Now, he describes the Airstream as their house now, which I got to say, he does have really good storytelling. He's really good at multitasking, staying focused and recording it all at the same time. Lots of editing work going on there. But again, maybe there are multiple takes to make this happen.
Well, my confusion comes in because the beginning of the video where he's talking about Daily Mail and he's, they're saying all this crap and they're trying to make you think Panama's not great and Latin countries aren't great and whatever else. He goes, we love Panama. We would never leave Panama. We will always live in Panama. But the video right before it is, we're leaving Panama. And I'm like, but what? And then you see them in the Airstream and they're gone for 48 days or longer or whatever else. And
well, for their core audience, they're going to click because they're like, wait, you're leaving Panama? You said you'd never leave. But for people who don't know who you are, like, okay. Deuces.
Yeah.
Like,
that's true. But that's, I'm assuming that when this trip is over, they're going back to Panama.
I have to question how genuine they are in their stories and creation.
So in 49 days, there should be we changed our minds. We're back in Panama.
I don't know.
Title.
But I don't look at it as everything is real. I look at it as everything is fake. Mm-hmm. So it's content. It's entertainment. It's creativity. Like, that's it.
That's what I was saying. Like, the constant smile the entire time and everything is so happy and whatever. It doesn't feel real to me because that's not life. Like, I don't know. And again, maybe I need to do a little binge watch and watch more of their stuff to see what it's like. But it feels more like a TV show than a real life follow behind.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm going to install Starlink on my Airstream in the middle of an RV park, I don't want to record it.
No, because that's a pain in the ass.
I want to focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't want you asking me a million questions while I'm doing this and recording and the baby's over there crawling like
too much. And smile through the whole thing.
Yeah. And then as I'm doing it, realizing I got to edit this shit too. God, no.
Yeah.
Either way.
Metal shavings in your face while you're drilling. All that fun stuff.
But I can't say it enough. I really can't. The super close convex wide angle 10mm lens focal length just isn't my thing. She was too close. Mm-hmm.
How was she gonna see that crotch?
No, like when her face was in it. It's just too much. Like it was overwhelming. It was overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice it? Like,
I mean, I noticed,
but it doesn't bother you.
I don't think it bothered me. I noticed how much closer they get to the camera than I do and most other people do.
The roundness of the angle bothers me the most.
Okay, yeah, that part.
It's not extremely focused, so it hurts my eyes.
No, that part makes sense. But I think that's the whole point. In the beginning, the first like 3 cuts were meant to be out of focus until they sat down and came into focus, and until they walked closer to the camera and it came into focus. Like everything is done for a reason, for a talking point, for a in order to get a comment out of it. Like that's how it feels. Everything is done for full on reason.
I'm going to make this out of focus right now.
Don't you dare.
Comment.
Stop.
Are they exploiting their child and invading her privacy?
I'm going to say no. Well, I'm going to say no because our kid isn't my videos when we talk about the kid, but she also knows.
Ask her,
yeah.
You want to be in a video?
I never put her in a video she doesn't want to be in, and if she doesn't,
and she gets in a video she wants to be in,
she has to come in.
No, she just show up.
Or she'll just show up. She'll just start walking in. But she also knows every single thing I talk about when it comes to her. But theirs is a 2-year-old, and I don't.
Do you expect to see Catherine Manning's baby and her baby's face anytime soon in her videos?
No, I don't.
But the baby's in the videos, just the back of the baby.
Yeah, but I feel like they have to have their kid in their videos, or else they could never make their videos because
Not true.
Okay, let me rephrase it this way. It's easier to have the kid in the videos so you don't have to edit the same way. I don't think they need to have her as the opening shot of a video. I think that, and this is where society has put my brain.
Oh man, you're about to say what I was thinking.
But I think that brings in the wrong kind of crowd.
No, not the wrong kind of crowd. When you have the thumbnails that they have, and then the first thing you see is
a
baby,
child, it gives off a certain kind of feel and impression, which may be why I'm rubbed wrong by them to begin with.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today. Like, I
was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to say it because it's like, people out there, oh no, it's a wholesome family, whatever. And I hear you. But I don't.
And again, this is me looking at it from a creator perspective.
And this is me just looking at it from a female perspective.
Not everybody's going to look at it the way we look at it.
No, not at all. And I'm not trying to say anything negative about them, their family, their whatever. But for me, I couldn't have thumbnails with, nipples and crotch shots and then, my child's face be the opening scene of a video.
Yeah.
It's not me.
So another YouTube channel that I came across today called Belief in Fatherhood has a video entitled Respecting Children's Rights, Consent in Videography.
Which is a thing. Do you know the
I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it. Maybe watch it next.
Nirvana, their CD cover or their whatever cover from way back in the day in the 90s, where it was a baby underwater. It was a naked baby underwater with like a dollar bill or something. That was their CD cover. That baby grew up and sued the shit out of them because it's a naked baby on the cover, and that baby did not give permission for their naked body to be on their cover. Sued them and won.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is wild. But I don't know. I mean, they're getting the views, they're getting the clicks. Should we talk closer into the camera? Should we? Should we get closer?
My crotch isn't talking to the camera, so it doesn't matter.
Is that what it takes?
And I'm wearing a sweatshirt because it was cold in here.
On your video today for your whatever video you make on your other channel?
No.
No.
Whatever it is, no.
No. I was gonna say just talk real close to the camera.
Also, no. I'm not a fan of my skin. Thank you.
But that was the other thing. I didn't make that note, but I did notice that whatever filter they're using doesn't show their real skin. They got the glamorized effect or whatever.
Real pretty on there.
Now,
not a single line.
Which it honestly ruins it because.
But maybe they're like 20. I don't know how old they are. I mean, she looks older than him, but I don't know how old they are. I didn't mean to like the way that sounded, but I think she's older than him, but I don't know what their ages are.
Based on some of the research that I've done, no weird stalking stuff, but just some research. The filters, like it's the glamour effect, it's the portrait effect, it's the face enhancement effect on Canva,
which is why I don't use any of those things because
it's the beauty mode.
I'd like you to actually recognize me if you did see me in person instead of going, what the heck? I didn't know you look like that. You look so different in videos. I don't want to look so different in videos. That's why I don't do any of that kind of stuff.
So essentially their video sponsor was Seed.
Yeah.
Not Starlink like I originally thought.
I knew it wasn't Starlink. They're trying to get Starlink as a sponsor, I think.
When they walked out and he goes, "Oh, I'll tell you about this box later." I'm thinking, okay. Mm-hmm. And he had the little double burner, probably stainless steel fire pit. And I thought that was the box. And he was going to, just more product placement.
Yeah.
Which, again, I wanted to get you that double burner for the smokeless fire pit, stainless steel, yada yada yada, but it rusts.
Oh yeah.
So for $500, $600, $700, $800, it will rust.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait. It's stainless steel.
How's it rust?
The heat is what causes it to rust.
You'd think they would use a different material.
I guess you'd have to go titanium, but then you're like, it's gonna be like $10,000. So honestly, I would just buy a really cheap fire pit.
And
if you can get
one
that is a double burn with smokeless and it's just steel and it's going to rust anyway, but it's like $100.
Yeah, just
every year.
Yeah,
throw it away.
Yeah,
but their sponsor was not Starlink; it was Seed.
I felt like their sponsor was the words were aimed at anybody who is a fan of AG1.
My note here says, this is their Kara and Nate alternative to AG1.
That's exactly what I thought, because it's a green container, just like AG1. She made the comment of, and you don't need to refrigerate it because it doesn't have any weird stuff in it, which AG1, you have to refrigerate once you open it. And she made all these different comments, and the way she did hers reminded me of the way Kara does hers sometimes. It felt very...
Kara's is definitely better.
Oh, yeah. No, I love Kara's. The last one she did on the video that we talked about yesterday was the best one because of all the green she had in the background. Everything like really, really popped. It was so good.
Inside the van, it's like the best.
Oh, yes. Best lighting in there because it got the white walls and everything else. And everything in there is colorful.
I think Joanna Gaines made that. It's Joanna Gaines.
It's not. It's a Kara.
It's shiplap.
It's a Kara Buchanan.
It's shiplap.
Shiplap van. I don't know what to call it, but Seed sounded great, but then they're talking about it and they're like, your esophagus and your stomach won't break down the outer layer.
Dude, when she said it goes straight to your colon,
that sounds painful. And then I was like, well, why would your colon break it down, but your stomach and your esophagus won't? What is this made out of? And is it safe for your body then?
I was confused because
I was very
she said
confused.
that the other ones, the capsules are not designed to withstand it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
she's like, because you need the probiotics and prebiotics in your colon. That's where they go.
The capsule. I'm like, wait, if they're not designed to withstand it, that means when they get to your stomach, they will. Oh, because it should go to your. Oh God.
Wouldn't it make more sense to have a suppository instead, like shove something up your butt with it?
After it's all said there, why are we going all the way to around?
When you just want to go here. Why are we going all the way through here?
The shortest distance between 2 points is sticking it right into your colon.
Oh, that part. Yours makes more sense. Whatever. I don't know how this works.
Oh, man. Now, but either way, I don't think I can watch more of their videos. I feel really overwhelmed by how close Kaylee gets to the camera. And, that's that part right there did it for me.
Okay, so this is where I sound some type of way.
I don't necessarily really care or love their journey or their story. The proximity to the camera and everything else, it's not something that I would continue to watch.
Their thumbnails aren't ones I would click on because as a straight female, I don't care about your camel pants and I don't care if you're cold or not. So you having nipples and stuff in there isn't something that makes me want to watch.
That means the thumbnail should be epic.
They're going to cut your camera.
It's a much colder climate there.
Yes, much colder. There should be blood. I don't know. Like it's going to be bad. I don't know, but it's not my kind of thing. Like Kara and Nate have never, in my opinion, resorted to that kind of whatever. Kara will wear a bathing suit, but it's a black bathing suit. You can't see anything. I can probably
count on one hand the attempts that they've made.
And even those were very, very small.
The references that Nate, I think of one that Nate said that was hilarious. He goes, the feet people are going to love this.
Oh, yes. I remember that one. Yeah. That when they were talking about the sandals in Australia?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one it was, but it was funny.
Yeah.
Now, the Airstream Electrical Nightmare, not really thrilled about that one. Especially in comparison to what we've seen in our build for our electrical system.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Airstream actually builds out their RVs or if they're just the shell company. And then somebody like Thor comes in and finishes up. But, Thor's quality is pretty much terrible for RV camper builds. And I'm very happy that we went with American Coach.
I agree completely. I was thinking about that today.
American Coach builds travel trailers. I don't think they build out travel trailers. So
what are those little ones that you can hook up? The Coleman? Is that what that one is? No, what's it called?
No,
the little one is like 12 grand or less.
Coleman builds them out, but there's some small ones. They have unique names, but they're just like a place to sleep. Like that's it.
I can't remember the one we saw when we went and walked through the place in Navarre area. Yeah. The one we walked through that.
Yeah, but we saw one in the parking lot in Jackson. Remember?
Yes.
When we went to REI?
Yes.
2 summers ago. And real popular, but I want more than just a place to sleep. I think I could probably get away with the rooftop tent.
I want to do the rooftop tent so bad. I could get away with
the rooftop tent, but the small confined space of that domed little trailer, like
you realize a rooftop tent is smaller, more confined,
but it's not curved.
Less
like
domed.
It goes straight up. Yeah. It feels bigger, I think. If it's the size of the roof of the Jeep, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I wish you could rent those.
So it's like a bunk bed. Like,
can you rent those? I would. It would be really cool if they had rentable overlanders.
I looked it up on what's that one website where you rent
Turo? They should have Turo and Turo accessories.
There was a website where you could outdoorsy.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think they do that.
No.
Or maybe they do. I don't know. I have to look into it a little further.
Where were we this summer? We were driving through and they had a store. It was really all like lockers on the outside where you could rent a camping bag. You could rent whatever else.
That was
Kalispell, right? Montana?
It was West Glacier area. Between
Montana,
Kalispell
Wyoming.
And West Glacier.
Montana, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of neat.
Now, I was pleased to see his modem setup for the Nomadic movement. And I will say, this is really, really strange. To me, he's like Nate.
With the hands-on in the RV and trying to fix things and make things.
He's like Nate with his delivery and his thought process and his and everything that, he's like Nate, in my opinion. Okay. And I think I like watching him more than I like watching her.
I agree.
As a couple, but I wouldn't say she's Kara. You see what I'm saying?
I would not either.
He's like Nate, right? He's definitely calmer and seemingly more genuine, or at least he's better at reading his scripts. And she seems a little extra and over the top.
Okay.
And I'm not really. You just gonna
I want to say kinda.
You gonna bite your tongue over there?
Would you like me to not?
I mean, if it's that bad, we can just edit it out.
I feel like when the camera's off,
we don't edit anything.
No, we don't. I feel like when the camera's off, though, that smile falls real quick.
Ooh.
And I don't know why I feel that way. It's just the feeling I get. Maybe because the smile is on all the time, and that's just not realistic. And so when it's on all the time, it makes me think that when the camera's turned off, that you're a totally different person. That's how I feel about it.
Now, when the camera turns off, I'm a little different because I will say, like, when this camera turns off, my brain is immediately thinking of processing everything.
That's true.
So I'm not like, oh, yeah. I'm like, I got to close this, unplug this. I got to do this, that, and the other. I'm thinking like that.
The difference between you and me is that when the camera's on, my brain's all, huh. And then when the camera's off, my brain's all, huh. So I'm all over the place. Like I'm thinking about, I really should have restarted the dryer, but then the dryer would have been loud. You would have heard it during recording. So then it wouldn't have really mattered. But I need to start the dryer so that the clothes will get unwrinkled. So then I can put the clothes up. But then I need to wash those 2 dishes I didn't wash. I still need to get Max more water. Probably needs to go potty. Blah, 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 blah.
There's a lot.
And then got to vacuum everything, got to dust everything because the moms will be here on Thursday.
You need to do a spend the day with me and I will record you. I will follow you. And you can do the stuff and you can say the stuff.
You got to put it on Patreon. I don't want it on YouTube.
So maybe we will do that. Now, it says here that my notes, Not like I'm reading the transcript.
My right butt cheek is like, no.
Well, lean on your left butt cheek.
I'm trying. But then I look like this. Like I look like the Costanza thing when he's on that bear rug. He's like this.
So they bought the best coffee in the world,
According to them.
in the whole wide world, for $25,000. And
I don't care how good coffee is. I'm not spending $25,000 on coffee.
I definitely got to get a longer cable because you're trying to like just
yank everything out. Sorry. My bad.
So, don't mind me. She's just trying to unplug everything by shifting her weight to her left buttocks.
Well, now I'm trying to like move it to the middle. Like, how do you even this thing out? You just gotta go like this.
So,
did your butt not go to sleep over there?
Oh yeah, it's been asleep since like
you just no.
There's muscle to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if their audience kind of got like $25,000 for coffee, like misunderstood, like where the money went, why?
Yeah.
But I beg to differ because I think Chris at Causeway's probably got better coffee. And he probably ain't spent $25,000. He probably didn't spend $1,000 a kilo for it. That's all I'm saying.
I just think it's funny when you call coffee kilos. My brain is immediately like, well, it's like a drug. I mean, there is a small bit of addiction to coffee, so I guess kilos makes sense.
I also think it's a great way to introduce write-offs that may not necessarily exist if you show it on a video and document it, and then give it away.
Here's the problem I had with what they said. Are you ready? Here's the problem I have with what they said. They said that they are going to put this coffee throughout the 48 states that they visit. They're going to put it in little baggies with a little thing on the front. But wait. They said they're going to put $1,000 worth in each bag, which I thought it was $100 worth the way they first started off. But they said it's $1,000 worth in each bag, which means there's only 25 bags, but there's 48 states.
Yeah,
so
they
it's very
should have did more
confused.
bags. They should have put $500 in each bag. And
Well,
then
they said one in each state, which is why I don't understand how.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Something doesn't make sense. Either somebody misspoke and they didn't catch it in post, or it's not really as real as they said it was. They didn't spend as much. They're not leaving as much. Whatever. But
I'd be willing to bet a lot of people don't even find it.
But so that's the thing that got me. Here's the thing that got me. They said they're going to put it in these special bags. They showed the bags, the little label they're going to put. And the guy said, whatever his name is, he said, maybe you'll find it hidden behind something on a shelf at Walmart.
That is the most ridiculous place ever.
Listen, here was the problem with that. If you are trying to walk outside of Walmart with something in your hand that you did not scan, the Walmart brigade will tackle you now, and you can say all day long, no, it's free. I found it on the shelf. And they're going to say, well, if it's on our shelves, it's our stuff and you can't have it. And it's going to cause a huge issue.
That was the most ridiculous thing. I'm
they just wanted to say Walmart in the video.
Walmart.
They wanted to say Walmart in the video.
Your bag of coffee that I don't know, so I'm not going to pick it up because it's out of place. It's the only one there. It's like
I would never pick up some random food beverage thing in the middle of nowhere that I don't know who put what in it. If it's been tampered with anything, that's just me.
I don't get it.
No.
Now, they definitely did put a lot of work into the camera work, into the angles and the edits.
I agree.
The ASMR aspect of it, the production value. Like they went all out to show you how they were providing you so much value in these little bags of coffee. Now, his wife said it's not... I don't know if you noticed this. When they were talking and it was her time to read the script, she goes, and it's not just going to come that easy.
Yeah.
That was her line.
I know.
It's not just going to come that easy. Okay, either way. Quite the elaborate plan to give away $1,000 worth of coffee, folks.
No, $25,000 worth. $1,000 worth in each bag.
Saying.
Okay.
Like, that's the elaborate plan to give away $1,000 a bag, which again doesn't add up to 48. But
they're giving away free kilos. That should have been the title of their video.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they're just trying to get more articles written about them by the Daily Mail.
Yeah. Oh, now they're just giving away kilos of stuff and they're bringing it in from Panama into the United States, giving away kilos of
expats from Panama crossed the border back into the U.S.
25 grand and they won't say
smuggling
what. Smuggling $25,000 worth, leaving kilos behind as they go.
Interesting geofencing or geotagging or geolocation, whatever it is this, but it's interesting how they're using this to create this interactive experience with the viewers and their audience.
But it's not really interactive. I mean, well, they said they're going to leave little clues and notes, and I don't know where.
They have to do it on Instagram.
That's what I was thinking. They'd have to do it there.
Karen and Nate are
doing the same thing. They're
Instagram.
like 2 weeks ahead on Instagram than they are in their uploads. So they're already like halfway across the country, and we've only seen one video of it before they even started.
That's for safety reasons, probably.
Yeah, but for them to do it, it's like you're leaving one in each state, so that makes it really hard for
leave it behind
in a metal tin, a magnetic metal tin on the back of a stop sign in the middle of Alabama. Why would you get out of your car at a stop sign? Number one, that's just going to cause issues. And then the police driving by and be like, what the hell are you doing?
I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody in Alabama finds your coffee on the back of a stop sign, they are not going to spend $1,000 a kilo to buy more.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm like, I can go get some of this freeze-dried Taster's Choice.
Oh, God. Yeah. I'd almost rather lick a cat's butt.
Actually, that stuff is so bad. That powdered coffee from REI was actually pretty good.
No, that one was good. That one, really, Alpine, that one's really good. Yeah. I think it was Alpine. Yeah.
So, interesting marketing plan and strategy.
Because they own the coffee place, and I bet that's the coffee they're going to start bringing in. Then it goes to them.
Will it pan out?
I don't know.
This, in my
as much
opinion,
as I love coffee, I would never in life spend $100 for a cup of coffee. It doesn't even matter. I don't care if you drink one cup of coffee and it immediately makes you lose 5 pounds and 5 years off your face. No, never mind. I lied. I'd spend $100 on that.
$500 later.
Yeah. So looking good, feeling great.
But this can't be done out of the goodness of their hearts.
There's probably crack in it too, though.
I don't think it can be done out of the goodness of their hearts entirely. I don't feel it.
I don't think so either.
It seems too much.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like too. It's like, all right, I'm not going to lie. It seems like too much. And I'd be willing to bet all the good things that Carrie and Nate do, we don't ever hear about.
I fully agree with that.
We don't ever hear about it.
I agree.
We don't see it on video. Like, it's not like, hey, look at us and what we're donating and doing.
That's the thing. Kara seems very, very genuine as a person. When you see her interacting with people when they're in different countries or different whatevers, she seems very, very genuine. I've never looked at her and gone, bitch fake. I don't think I've never once, but the girl on this one, the lady on this one, that's all I can think is I feel like you're the camera's on, so you're on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. They're getting subs, they're getting views.
And I know it makes that sound awful, or me, because I'm the one saying it, but it makes it sound awful. But
I bet you're not the only one.
Everybody's able to.
The only one. Somebody's gonna be like, you know what, you're right.
There's people that are gonna look at us and me and you and think the same thing. And I'm like,
for sure.
I mean, it is what it is, but I guess because we aren't, it's way more obvious to me when it seems like somebody is.
But we're also in the space, and we can kind of like we know how the sausage is made, basically.
Yes. Gentleman sausage. I knew you were gonna do it, so I beat you to it.
We're being canceled. Was this title clickbait?
Yeah, 100%.
100%?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Who said they were being canceled? All they did was say that.
I think the article.
I never saw the word canceled in the article. And when he mentioned it, it didn't say anything about canceled that I saw. He read that long ass title and he missed one word up on purpose so that there was no copyright. I noticed that. He said of instead of to, or maybe he's dyslexic and
he did make up a lot of words.
He did make a lot of words. So maybe there's that, but I never saw the word canceled anywhere, and them saying things about you isn't canceling you. So I think that was a clickbait title, but it got people to watch it.
Well, maybe he meant it from the metaphorical sense of cancel culture. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have to actually have it said if in theory that's what's being done to you. Let's just say Russell Brand is being canceled.
Okay.
But no one ever said that. You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
So it's like if he came out with something saying, I'm being canceled. Well, no one ever said that, but they're trying to cancel you.
Yeah, but Daily Mail writing an article about you is not trying to cancel you.
And I stand corrected. The New York Post and Daily Mail titles of their articles don't say canceled.
Neither one of them say canceled.
Maybe in the text they say canceled, but I don't know because I haven't read them, and I am not going to read them. So,
I feel like it was done for clickbait so that they could say.
So you're saying 100% clickbait?
Yeah.
Sweet. I like that. What do you guys think? Is it clickbait? Comment down below. Now,
unless you're on a podcast and then just say it out loud to yourself because
that was clickbait.
You can't comment on a podcast, which is why I don't know that I could listen to podcasts because I need to let you know my opinion.
No, you can comment on a podcast. You can.
How?
Because you can jump in the live chat over on Patreon.
No, I'm talking about like on Spotify and things like that.
Just jump in. You can just jump on if you want to. But look, this is my opinion of it. You can jump on the live chat over on Patreon, or you can text us or call us at 850-979-4829. And then you can comment.
Your phone gonna be ringing off the hook, sir.
I tied it to your phone.
Son of a. Did you really?
You gave me the code.
Son of a, you're right. Why would you do that to me?
It said I couldn't do it.
Why?
I don't know. Google don't like me.
Do you already have one?
Maybe, I guess. It said no. I can't control this stuff. It's Google. Google doing Google things. Now, did you notice at the end, the strobe light effect at the end of the video with the birthday cake?
I'd probably already stopped watching because it wasn't a birthday cake. It looked like Lay's potato chips with
Oh, for real?
It wasn't a cake. I don't know what it was.
Oh.
And like little blueberries on the plate. I don't know what it was. I think it was pancakes. That's what it was. Mm-hmm.
The lighting and the shutter speed created this strobe effect. And I wonder how many mean comments they got after that.
Why?
Oh, when you do that and people don't know what's coming, like they are pissed.
Oh, I hate strobe lights. I don't watch anything with strobe lights. I close my eyes.
But you wouldn't have known that it was there until you saw it. And that's when people are like, oh, you need to quit doing that. Like people get...
Seizures are a real thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice it. I saw the pancake, I think they were pancakes, over there, but I didn't notice that.
It was not long, but
okay.
I just wondered if anybody else, if they even got any mean comments from it. But at the end of it all, I think we asked the same question.
Which was?
What did they do with their house in Panama?
Yeah, because if you're not staying up on it with them, you don't know exactly what's going on. And since we aren't a purveyor of nomadic movement, we didn't know what was going on.
We're not subscribers.
I wanted to use the word purveyor.
Oh, okay.
Purveyor. How in the...
Cool. What?
So my kid sends me a text. She goes, can you put more lunch money in? And I'm trying to figure out how she got into the negative on lunch money because I put plenty of money in there and I don't know how this one is working.
Either somebody's stealing her code or she's buying everybody lunch at school and you didn't tell her about that. So the last thing that I really want to do is analyze the Nomadic Movement channel since they got canceled.
Okay.
And the reason being is that they obviously are on this 48-day, 48-state journey, 48 video, 40, whatever. Okay. And since they got canceled, that was 2 weeks ago, that video got 147,000 views. The one before it, We're Leaving Panama, 135,000 views. The one before it, The End of a Chapter, 115,000 views. Before that, An Incredible Transformation, 122,000 views. Before that, She's Moving In, New Girl on the Farm. Ooh, Sexy Silhouette, 226,000 views. Day 1, Episode 1 of the 48 State Challenge, 67,000 views. We Shouldn't Have Come Here. Episode 2, 66,000 views. After that, 45, 51, 64, 55, 45, 49, 42, 40, and 1 hour ago. We'll see how that one goes.
I have thoughts on it. Would you like to know what my thoughts are?
I would absolutely like to know your thoughts on it.
I have two thoughts. One, being in Panama, you're in something that people can't see normally. It's not something that they normally live in, and you're living a different kind of lifestyle in Panama. So people are going to tune in for that. Also, you're titling it completely different over there. But this one here, you are now trying to daily upload, which means you are either rushing through what you're doing, they are either shorter, or you're manufacturing things so that you can make a video and it's coming across that way.
Well, I will say the plus side is they're probably multiple days ahead. So they might already be done. And then they had time to get the edits done versus trying to drive, travel, set up, record, edit, and then like that's impossible.
But you also have to think of it this way. These are daily views. Those other ones are how many weeks apart. So in theory, they might be getting less views per video, but in that time frame, they're actually making more views.
Oh, okay. So previously
they're like a week apart, right?
Previously they would get like 20,000 views a day, or let's just say 40,000 views a day, and not post, but every 2 weeks. But now they're posting every day,
and they're actually
getting 40,000 views a day from every video.
So they're averaging more views this way. It looks one way, but in the long run.
Then how does that impact their channel? How does that impact their channel overall? Because it's going to have an impact with the algorithm.
Oh, it's definitely going to have an impact with the algorithm, because then once you stop posting, they've gotten used to your consistency on a daily basis, and you go back to what you were doing as once a week. The algorithm no longer sees you all the time, and it forgets about you, and it's hard to get pushed back out again. Trust me, from somebody who took too much time off over the summer, I understand how that works.
Interesting. But they definitely do have different titles, different thumbnails. She's wearing bras in these. There's no frigid cold nipple shots, no camel pants.
Because you're in the States with people you may know and run into and whatever else. We got different rules over here, ma'am. We got different rules.
Her camel was allergic to Panama and it puffed up.
What happens in Panama?
Up in the pants.
Stop. What happens in Panama stays in Panama.
Oh, either way. I think it was an interesting analysis video to watch, and we will be moving on. Maybe taking some suggestions and comments from you guys.
Yeah, if you guys have channels that you really like.
Channels and videos.
Yeah.
Again, the phone number will be in the description. And I also want to say that you could probably take comments and requests as well, not only on Buy Me a Coffee, but also on your Substack.
Yeah.
Which you mentioned your Substack yesterday on the live stream, and now you have some followers on the Substack.
21 now.
And you need to make a post.
I do need to make a post. I got to figure it out.
Something for your Substack.
Yeah.
And I will go ahead and include some Substack information for you guys in the description on this one, in case you want to join the Squirrel Tribe Substack.
That'd be cool.
Until next time. Do we have a special outro?
Toodaloo. No, we don't.
No,
Squirrel out.
Over.
Roger.
That's it. Oh, we got.
Bye.
Bye.
Konnichiwa.
Oh.
Is that how you say bye? Konnichiwa?